We are back now. We're looking for Org versus ReflexEU. Ben, it's the actual HUD. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while, in all fairness. Is this going to be a default? What is it? Jungle smoke, stairs smoke being lined up. A full A execute, whilst there is just a B stack in play. So Carcass has the kit. He shouldn't really stay here too long. As soon as those smokes coming in, no CT smoke, you shouldn't really give a chance for that. But West takes head up anyway. Not an ideal start.
No, not really what you want.
The main thing is the kit was at CT, so the CTs do need to regain that control, but it's not going well for them right now.
Ooh, they're all being punished. It's just fallen onto KPIZ and Emin. They are in a 2 versus 5, so the retake is incredibly unlikely. And the chances are slim, and it gets even worse when JCMX is just popping them down like that. Tasted it local onto KPIZ, and it's a matter of time before Emin will fall.
Yeah, nice little round from them. Obviously, everybody surviving is a huge bonus, of course. Especially if they didn't take any damage, because obviously there is the free, well, $350 upgrade to head armor rather than the 1,000 if you took some damage. And we're in with a pause.
That's what you want. You know, this game's been too fast-paced. Everything's been very hectic. It's been constantly just trailblazing ahead. We take some time to slow it down a little bit.
I would like to take some time to think about that JCMX shot. It was actually pretty nice, to be fair.
It was a good shot.
It was nice. It's very rare you hit the first shot on that angle, especially, right? With a USP. It's been very close to the range of it being not 100 damage as well. Because obviously that is a thing on a lot of maps now. I don't know what that update was or when it was. But I seem to remember USB used to be one-shot headshot, especially mid-door dust 2 to T-spawn. But they did change that. So it does like 96 damage. Weird. Feebob's name was massive then.
Yeah?
Did you see
what,
that?
above his head?
Yeah, we were in T-spawn, we could see his massive name. It's really unusual.
Look at the size of that name.
He also doesn't have a KDA. Interesting. CS is, after the major's finished, it's just gone out the window, I think.
I just shut it down.
Reflex will be looking to shut this round down though, won't they? 3 AKs, UMP, Mach 10. A lot of grenades to be used. It looks like an A play is the idea. Question is, will Carcass be able to do anything? They haven't really invested into this round. KPIZ with his usual taser, of course. We've seen that a few times. I don't think it's ever paid off though, for him. I think somebody else did get it and get a kill with it though, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
Because he used it towards like the odd nuts.
Yeah, he's tried it a couple of times towards B, where he goes like the jump shot with the taser, but it would never really do too much.
He's getting a lot of damage.
1 kill. Yeah. It's not ideal, Ben. They're all very low. The retake is entirely plausible, actually. Pipe got connection with the smoke. Oof. Timing could be a bit awkward, but he dinks him straight down. There's only 3 players that remain. Mog's the only one full HP.
Emin top mid as well, though. Can't help but feel getting whiffed there.
Yeah.
I mean, Mog's landed that first shot, thankfully, and didn't panic.
Well, there you go. That's the explanation.
That was the AOC listening.
Yeah. Sponsored by AOC.
Mog just killed someone he didn't mean to kill. Yeah.
Cheers, boys. That one was actually the intel listening.
It's good that all these sponsors are involved. You know what I mean? I love those listening.
Well, it's always good, you know, with some different segments on the Prem to let us get that insight from the players. So
yeah, it's a nice little feature, you know. I do miss having those listenings though on actual like in tournaments though. Like you remember they used to, what was it, like ESL clone? I want to say 2015. That sort of time, right? They did have the full VODs available for both teams.
oh yeah, yeah. There was like the individual streams where it was just comms for the whole team, so you could listen to their whole calls.
Yeah, it was a nice little thing to have. Obviously, very disruptive if you're like an English-speaking team, because everybody can basically understand what your entire playbook, potentially your tendencies like that as well.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, stopping the voices has gotten rid of all the audio.
Oh, there we go. You've also got radar. Nice.
Nice. Things that you need.
So into a 3v3. Bombs already been planted about 15 seconds ago. There is no kit in play for the CTs currently. I don't know if there's one on the floor though. But ultimately, you've got to be thinking the T's are favoured right now, especially with that kit not in play right now. 2 smokes available. They need to find some kills, but they're not really able to find anything right now. This is the big battle though. If Mog wins that, I was going to say it's a guaranteed round, but this makes it interesting. Quite a default as well. I think G7 is that perfectly now.
Oof.
1 HP. Won't live.
No.
Sad.
Dead now, of course. The Reflex get all 3 rounds, Ben, off the beginning there. Help themselves into a nice little position. JCMX being fairly effective with 5 kills to his name at the moment. The Org rebuys are coming back out for LFaug, so at least they're sticking to the name.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I'd hope they would, right? That's at least got to be part of the running gag. But Reflex, even though they won the first 3 rounds, as you said, look at their money. Like, they've been damaged every time they have won these rounds. Obviously, last round, all 5 of them died. And that's a lot of aggression. I was going to say, without some sort of backup, the hype does finally get through, get that 1 kill, but traded immediately. So ultimately, your 2 orgs have got a single kill, and ultimately no map control, nothing to really gain from it. Kind of worrying, you then end up, you know, as a CT, you're a man down already, you need to make another play somewhere on the map. And I've got to be thinking, Fsun is probably the best player to make a play here, purely because of where he is. But he's in a position where I feel like you get 1, and there should be a trade. Let's see if that's the case. The Shadow will be first. It should be easy, but he doesn't even get that one. 95 damage, not enough. 100s kill.
Yep, needs to try and buff himself there. Just coming out towards the site. Morg on the drive-by, hoping to connect the shot, but can't quite land it. Carcasses really pushing straight back through. Spot him on the cross, but that's going to be the bomb now planted for free. There was potential, but it's dwindled away even further, and now it's just basically fully gone. You thought Capers might want to just save the Org and the armor, but instead he commits to that firefight. He does get smited because of it.
Yeah, an interesting decision, obviously, but max loss bonus, I guess they basically guaranteed we would not be forcing into it if we did have that saved weapon. So they do take this one on the chin. It'll be just, you know, some armor bought with pistols here and there. Carcass, just a deagle, which in my mind makes me think he'll probably pick up an all, which we did see him do quite a bit. He's a very interesting author. He hits a lot of the shots you don't expect him to, and then misses the ones he should land, right? Because there was that one nuke, wasn't there, Nest?
Yeah.
Which didn't make any sense.
You never remember a Kenny S shot, but you'll always remember a Carcass flick.
I think that's exactly what it was in HLTV as well.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. People were like, who's Carcass at the time? But they're like, I know a Kenny S one now.
Maybe that's what we do, is just start spreading the propaganda about Carcass and just go, he's the, you know, the best Lithuanian player in the world.
That's Nuki.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Well, at least it would be a few months ago, right? I'm not, because he's playing with no chance, I think. No, as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the lineup he's playing with. Very good player. Battled Muzz in 1v1.
He did, and he absolutely bodied him.
I'll be honest.
He wrecked him, to be fair. Play coming in towards the B-bomb site, though. Very easy pickings, no real resistance from looking for Org. For the most part, everyone is just crumbling down to dust. And it is on Capers, the man we've been touching upon, speaking about this season being one of his best yet. In a 1 versus 3, Ben, is there anything really you can achieve? Get a little tag off, 1 HP left on Whisk, which is definitely going to be a bit frustrating. But at this point, if he is going to go for this round, it was the idea he had to go in immediately. There's no real time. He'll just be trying to find those exit frags. He is getting them, though.
He will push in to try and damage that economy, though. I mean, I don't know what to think about that jump through the window.
Yeah.
So all in all, 1 HP survives this time. But 5-0, Reflex actually looking pretty solid in terms of what they're doing mid-round, right? They're making the correct calls, whether it's which bomb sites go to, which sites actually pencil on. Understanding the map fully. T-side looking very good, and especially with how CS is right now, it's pretty much predominantly all CT-sided, right? The Org is a laser at roots.
Yeah, it's definitely way more sided to the CT on average.
Tagged him. He actually tagged him through the corner of the wall. I guess he flicked up to the left.
Yeah.
Just, you know, holding where he was. Common thing that some AWPers do, to be fair. They'll be correct on the actual angle they're holding, but
Well, they'll
some
flick
of
off.
them do. Yeah, it's a weird flick.
Might have.
Yeah, see how in this match. Weird spray battle. Being questioned right there by JCMX. Like, why are you doing that? Not looking out great for them. But ultimately, you've got to think they're a man up. They're just trying to wait it out a bit. Hoping that Luke for will go for some kind of information play, whether it's through top mid, pushing towards B. And it looks like the information won't actually be achieved for them because they still have a player in the kitchen here and a player spamming. So that's like a lot of dedication towards the B side of the map, all things considered. Because you don't have mid control, technically. You've got a player in towards ramp, somewhat. Same position as he was before, I believe, on the actual pot. Maybe with an AUG he'll get the first kill and possibly more this time. So one smoke's already been thrown by Casa. Trying to see, because as soon as that smoke lands, you've got to be thinking if you're F-San here, there must be contact at some point. But they're walking close, the shadow doesn't properly show, and it's a really nice double peek. Yeah,
that was smooth. This could very easily be a 6th round picked up immediately. Emmy struggling towards CT, but gets the flick around back on Hype. And Emin has so much to do. Keeps on charging through with the AWP. He's racking up the frags one by one. They've been able to peek into his crosshair. And this retake has gone from essentially being not viable at all to almost being done. 1v1 for Whisk, can jump on top of the box. It's an angle that does tend to catch you off guard, especially with the AWP, if they don't clear towards it. It's a hard shot to predict. He's playing around it, Ben, keeping on his toes, and at that point, nearly 45 HP. It's an easy spray down to rip his way through him, recover the AWP as well, and they get that extra round for Reflex that are now dominating.
And I instantly saw Capers buy an AWP in there as well. So he was one of the few players to get a lot of kills in the round. So he had better cash than anybody else, but maybe not thinking about the rest of his team, right? Because I saw the insta-buy of the AWP, and as you can see, the damage to his teammates on his MP92 Flowmaster Deagle. There is a battle of attrition going on though, like Reflex, you can see their money. They've won 6 rounds in a row on the T side. Still only 29.50 is the highest in the bank, and obviously Cass paying the price for that apparently. Going with the UMP. So here's some nice information being gathered by Hype. Same thing they did last round all with 2 players before. But F-San, he's not had much luck playing close, but he keeps doing it and he's not winning these firefights. At some point you've got to be thinking, I'm not winning this firefight, no. I can't play like that right now.
They're just expecting the angle as well, because it's happened quite a few times now, so it's not really catch them off guard. It's just a standardized position. Caught off on the rotate as well. Carcass going to be eliminated. It's all up to Capers with the AWP. He pumped so much money into that round. So did his entire team, but they get no return on that investment.
Yeah, when you're buying an AWP like that, I can't feel like you need a set idea, right? Some sort of plan, whether it's jumping out mid-window onto the actual Kenny Ash jump that people do onto the rail. Just something proactive. But instead we saw multiple plays being made across the map from different players. Right, obviously Hype got B-Ups control. F-San's playing close ramp again. There wasn't a clear, like, we're going to do this side of the map, don't do something elsewhere. And obviously it's not a great idea, but Reflex is looking a lot better though. Like, again, the improvement from week 1 to now, it really is showing. Ooh, the trade should have been there.
Yeah, Emmy trying to hold for the exit, didn't quite get it. His teammate just sat behind him. Casa. There's going to be the re-aggression towards ramp for another time. JCMX will make very quick work of them. Good double face though. Actually recover both of these AKs over towards B. This could be the first round for looking for AUG, and it's off the back of basically a huge Deagle play there from Hype, who just keeps on going and gets 3 members with that 150 cal handgun.
An interesting to say the least, because ultimately you've got to be thinking if Cassie gets that trade on the Emmy death, the round plays out completely differently. Obviously Hype did very, very well to get the 3 kills with the Deagle there. But sometimes that is all that you need to get into the game, right? So let's see if there's a big change here. So they actually got 3 AKs from that as well, which is fantastic retrieval. What's incredibly aggressive from JC. He's stuck in the fire. Got to be. I guess you have to commit on that angle if you've. You see the molly came right past you. You have to commit.
Yeah, it's either go for it or yeah, it's the element of surprise that you get if you catch them off guard. It's quite a miraculous play. Trades towards top mid as Whisk and Hype both go down. Still in favour of looking for AUG. Carcass has the AWP back out, sitting towards the connector, just scoped in. Prepared for the aggression to come down towards him.
So you can see the impact on Emmy here. Checking basically every angle on the way up. However, F-San playing under. Carcass playing towards top connector. It looks like A is the play on their minds. However, somebody needs to pull the attention from Carcass, because right now he's watching this angle that Casa and Marg are actually pushing towards. Instead, a very slow peak ultimately. Carcass just killed. Very nice shot
Okay.
from Mog there.
Should have been. Oh, an execution doesn't quite work like that. However, it doesn't really matter. The double kill racked up at the end. Looking for Org do secure themselves the second round. The AWP recovery as well that can be passed back over towards Carcass. But it is a 7-2 scoreline. There's a lead building for the T's.
Yeah, and that economy damage that was building in those rounds that they had technically won is now shown, right? So you can see they were 7-0 up at one point, lost 2 rounds, one of them to an eco ultimately. And they have to actually go with an eco now. Like they'll only get 2,400 for this round. Can Carcass deliver the highlight though? That's the question.
Gets one. Follow-on frag coming through. They're just so staggered on the push. They're waltzing their way into him. It's very easy for them now actually connect these shots. Could be the 5-man. There it is. Yeah.
Nice and composed, right? Ultimately, I think the key thing was getting that second kill because he was falling off. Obviously, it's a very awkward angle to be able to get that kill and actually pull off, right? But a 5-man, he's getting himself into the game. AWP that we've seen, he has flashes of good plays.
Yeah.
It's just we haven't seen enough of it, right?
It really has been the consistency of it being the major issue, because it's fine if you can do that like 30% of the time, but when you need it the majority, especially to try and win games, especially your team struggles without that internal firepower that you know you can have, it can get very, very awkward fairly quickly. And Reflex back over towards A. A ton of smoke is now being cast in towards the site. Looks like to be a classic site take as they just bombard their way back through. Carcass, again, already hungry for it. Dives in to get the first snap down.
It's nice to see the confidence there. He was the only player to actually try and challenge that in any way. Gas actually getting a kill through the smoke right at the edge there, and bomb plant gets taken down. I mean, he's planting on the CT side of triple as well. And Hype gets another one with no trade yet again. Ultimately, they're trying to find these individual battles. They're not winning them right now on the T side. Bomb is down. We do know where it is. But ultimately, you got the cover is perfect. They know exactly where to watch each other, and that's a nice little right click right there. I believe that was from Capers as well. But Reflex, they could have done with those first 7 rounds being just a bit slightly cleaner, I think.
Yeah.
Ultimately, right? Like the amount of rounds where they had 3/2 alive, meaning you have to drop for those players that did die. The rebuys come through, and then ultimately, when you're 7-0 up on the T side, usually you think your bank would be absolutely massive. But instead, we saw, you know, the effect of it right there. So a bit of a converged eco by. But Carcass for another highlight.
Yeah, he is. He was trying to do it again towards mid. However, Heights to get involved. Not when the units actually formed together. Well, they were until their heads got decapitated by JCMX. And now it is just Mog left. Deagle in hand. Skulking his way behind them. 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. They were watching for it, but it doesn't really matter. The adjustment was so quick. He's still got 76 HP as well. This round could potentially be doable. In a 1 versus 2. He gave up clearing his angles. He stopped playing slow. That's why, then. That's what happens.
Yeah, not as quick on the flick right there compared to the previous. Because he was pretty solid with that flick that he got beforehand. But ultimately, LFaug getting themselves back into the game right now. 5 rounds in a row for them. And obviously the Orgs being in their hands, the AWP in Carcass's hand primarily, I think, is the major impact, of course. So a bit more of a default coming through from Reflex now. A typical 1-3-1 ultimately. Going into more of a 1-4-0 really, with fast trading and stuff. They need to identify where Carcass is with this AWP without giving him a free kill. So the last time we saw this angle, he got the free kill. It was a very delayed peak, no flashes used, nothing like that. He just got the kill and he was able to technically get out, but he challenged instead. That's a bit better. They do spot him out there and they can get an angle to push him away.
Yeah, that's actually pretty damn good. Force it back, he will ignite it. It could have been a kill with the AWP. Instead, though, he pays the price. The bullet comes back through, hits him right between the eyes. More damage done against the looking for AWP squadron as it does fall into a 5-on-3 there.
Yeah, the thing is, so F-Sun's been dying close round every round, and he's been solo A pretty much every single round as well. Emin, being in Palace, causing a ruckus, 2 kills already, he's now a 3v2 in LFaug's favour. Make that a 1v3 for Wisp. He's got everything to do, he knows where at least 2 of the players are. But can he find the 1v1s he needs right now?
Will they give them to him? The big question. It seems like it. They're not really pushing him together. Eventually they do. And it is the Org that just blows him away. With the Wilder there in Emin being very effective with it. Gets the retake back off. And the position we were in to where we are now, 6-7, how close it's actually gotten. It really has been a game of just momentum between these two teams.
I mean, ultimately, the round right there, a huge play by Emin, understanding whenever they've gone towards A, if they kill F-Sun, he's been on his own pretty much every round. They were still kind of checking for any sort of extra player, but they did not expect to play in Palace ultimately, and Emin, that disruption in the hold was enough to completely win them the round. But back towards A bit more of a contact play it seems. JCMX, he's been in this position before. However, the molly, a bit deeper this time. At the same time, Emin getting all this control towards top mid. The thing is, Emmy, if he gets the timing correctly, he might be able to catch Carcass off in the back. But ultimately, you got to be thinking one of those B players will end up rotating away.
Oof, here we go. Okay, he's actually going to go through underpass. Will get a kill off from it as well. Now this is when Bastion needs to really try and make that play occur. The way back around. It's going to be Whisk that hits them hard, eliminates the man going for the flank. 4 versus 3 now, Ben. CT's on the retake. Time will start to tick away. They do have kits. All 3 players. And they're getting the kills as well. They're opening back up. It's just 1 difference now in terms of the overall tally. Zan, get the tags off. Oof. You hate to see it though. The crossfire comes straight back through. That is going to solidify the way they want this half to go. At the very least, it'll be an 8-6. Hopefully a 9-6 if they can secure the next. The rebuy comes out though. Cape is back on the AWP. Is he going to hold on to it this time or give it back to Carcass?
Yeah, the one round we saw him with that AWP was that round where he did kind of force the issue, or try to at the very least. So I wonder what kind of play will come through. Carcass obviously been doing very well with it. So I'm surprised it wasn't going across to him. But it looks like Cape is playing towards B as the actual just hold of the flank. Bit of a surprise to be using that play. It feels like it's a bit of a waste in my mind at the very least. Because B hasn't really been an area that they've pushed into a lot this game. Right? It feels like you could have had AWP at CT a lot more in the back. And the fact that JCMX is able to win that fight is kind of outrageous. Like, F-Sun's having no luck with these battles. Nice little quick trade from Whisk. He did hear a play behind that, but the push fading, height was much quicker though.
Yeah, these rounds are tight and very awkward. 2-on-2 towards A. JCMX will find a headshot on Emin. The hype will also be overthrown by JCMX. So in reality there, the T is getting themselves another round. It's going to be a 9-6 scoreline. And into a good position off the back of that.
Ultimately recovering, right? 7-0, you get towards 7-6, you start panicking a bit, you're like, okay, we've lost so many rounds in a row. You finally get yourselves back in and you then win out the half technically. The confidence is obviously there. With it being a 9-6. On the T side as well, as I mentioned, the game currently, it's been a lot more CT sided. Whether that's through the actual game, the AUG itself being the primary factor, it does seem to be, at the very least. Everybody's going to be using that weapon as a bit of a laser right now to watch those angles. The question is, can they turn their CT side performance of their own into something big, right? Because this map, technically, they get the win, they're in a very good spot to actually guarantee themselves here. Through as whether it's high seed or even first in the group.
Yeah. Obviously, you've actually figured out a lot of the tiebreakers there of what we're working with, and there are some storylines that matter quite a lot depending on a few of the games we have tonight.
Yeah, so obviously if Reflex were to win this game, for example, and Fierce, well actually, if Reflex win regardless, I believe it was actually, they'll be the top seed going through, which is kind of a crazy story, all in all, because if you think about it this way, both groups, you think Endpoint and the former London guys in Fierce, they should be your #1 seeds typically. But you'd have Revelation and Reflex, which is kind of crazy.
That would be definitely a sight to behold. Probably the biggest shape-up in terms of underdog teams, or teams that really don't have as much stock in them initially, getting their way through. JCMX with the P2000, trying to get some shots off the back pedal.
5 men through CT. Now this is something wild. No kit. This is going to be an absolute onslaught. This is a no-holds-barred 5-man train that's coming through.
Just charging in. Everyone just sprinting back towards the strike, trying to see if they can take these down. They're losing the majority of the numbers in the battle here. However, it equalizes ever so slightly. It's all up to Carcass, but the whiffs that were coming through, Whisk. He looked like he nearly let that one slip away. Luckily, though, Carcass will perish. And that is a round win from Whisk for Reflex, giving them 10 straight off the back of that pistol round. Probably looking at very least 11 rounds now for Reflex.
So, you know, I was mentioning the Revelation Reflex thing. So if they were to both go through to the land final, I think Mog might refer to it as Moggers. Or Harry Witt would say, obviously, Poggers, right?
Moggers, dude.
Moggers.
That's Moggers.
But I've never seen a CT retake like that, though. Like, that was an absolute train of CTs coming in early for the stop on the A-bomb side. Unexpected. And it's a nice little deco coming out. FSAN the only player with armor, and the only player with a CZ on the T side as well.
Yeah, the rest of them rocking the deagle. Looking to peel back some scalps. We know how deadly they are, normally with these hand cannons. They can turn rounds on their head pretty much if they are able to land these shots. So Jay waits in position behind the ticket booth. He's got the AUG out. Close connection there. The CZ unfortunately not paying its dividends off to give him that elimination, but at least there's a trade from Carcass.
Allowing that plant isn't too fantastic for the Reflex guys, especially considering this was not actually a proper buy from looking for all. Mostly Deagle's Hype has picked up that FAMAS as well. We'll be looking towards him to make the big play later on in this round as he does actually pass it across the Capers. So they're going to play the long con with this bomb plant and hope that Capers can get the spam across. With the smoke being there, you'll be thinking a player, there's no kit in play either. Well, I don't think it's possible for Capers, no armor as I mentioned. It's kind of hard to force that issue from that location. I can't help a feel you probably need to be a bit more aggressive, get yourself involved in the round.
Yeah.
Right? It was a 4v3.
It probably would have been better in that instance to be a lot more proactive and go for the play rather than trying to go for that late round play, which, I mean, didn't really have the arsenal for it either.
Yeah. But ultimately, you got to be thinking, we invested, what, 4 Deagles, CZ, Kevlar, we got a bomb plan out of it. That's great. Which means Carcass gets a full set of grenades with his AWP as well. A very rare sight on round 3 of 999, as Scott suggested just then.
Yes.
That was a good one. I've never seen that before, that's quite interesting.
Classic suggestion.
But a scout on Emmy though, so that's the impact. Even though they did win that round, he's resorting to a scout, which obviously when you compare it to Carcass's loadout, not ideal. Nice little made into ramp though. JCMX having a really solid game so far, obviously mainly winning those firefights in ramp. Gonna be trying to do the same thing again, but from the CT side of things though. Looks like A player is the idea that you can see the bomb already rotating towards A ramp, 2 players going towards back. There's still a player towards B, but he actually still gets that kill while fully blind. Really unfortunate.
Pushing back out on towards the site. Emmy getting tags off with the scout. He's been very annoying with the weapon at the very least and softening them up so it's easier for his CT side teammates to put them down in their grave. Molotov going to get cast over. It's actually a double molly.
So we've still got Hype lurking towards B. He's the crazy thing. Casser's ready for it as well. Whisk gets that kill across. The bomb's still not been planted yet. A lot of damage being put across, but that battle at B is actually won by the T side as well, and Airman still gets that one too. 30 seconds left. This bomb is down. Mog does know where it is. He's looking to find that fight against Hype, but unfortunately loses it. A very big fight that he needed to really win, or at least try and avoid, just play the actual bomb plant game potentially. But I suppose with the alternative side of things, he's trying to catch him off guard. Why would he peek me when you could openly be both peeking at the same time?
Yeah.
So FSN, I mean, I talked about it a lot on the CT side. He's not had a great game. Like, he's 4-15 right now. It's been a real struggle. He's been one of the players that has shined for them as well through the season. A lot of highlight clips. I mentioned that CZ one, I believe it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, normally very effective in terms of being crisp as well, just individually. We're not seeing that side of him right now. The team strategy coming into effect. They left the bomb towards top mid. Everyone else is just going to bombard their way back down. They're going through connector here altogether. Ooh. Okay.
Brutal. That's their own Molotov. Whisk does get that kill. He's the only player with armor as well. However, it is a 2v3. He does get taken down as well. So Casa, it's a big ask for him to get much done here. But ultimately, if he gets one kill, I think he's done the damage that they really would need going into the next round.
Bear in mind they don't have the bomb still either. So it's either get the kill or double back, get the bomb, and then go around. So they are actually sending the rotation in. They might try to go grab the bomb and then head towards B here potentially, but they are just spamming out as well, making noise, letting them know of their presence. There's Emin, that is currently on the water boy duty.
The crazy bit is, right, because they were so paranoid that he might have been just on the bomb in general. But Casa's probably just thinking, where on earth are the C's right now?
Yeah.
But he's dedicated to this A play. He'll be hearing that mid window get smoked. He might be thinking maybe it's a short play, but the noise comes through now. Karkas should deliver this kill regardless. All things considered, Karkas probably should have got him based on that. Actually, I thought Karkas would, at least swing looking towards CT rather than everywhere else. Apparently. Ultimately, though, 11-8, it will be a buy from the CTs. 4 of them getting a decent buy, and Emmy the only one who will be a bit of a struggle. Probably a scout in play again. We saw him with it in the previous buy round. It wasn't too bad. Actually, he gets a FAMAS. Could have afforded some grenades to win for the scout. However, he decides go with the Clarion with a 5.56 ammo.
Well, play towards B. Actually, the deep push towards top mid as well. It's unfortunate for Emmy that
Spotted them.
Did he get the re?
Yeah.
Ah.
He was prepared with a nade, but there's no rotating him. There should be coming any second now, but he's already stopped them on the window. There's very well to find the one, but he's 2 tunnel vision on one of the angles. He needed to get in a better position to, hold his sight down. Thankfully, though, his teammate's very close, considering he did get that initial spot. 4v3. No kit involved, though, is the worry here. This B-bomb site very hard to get into. Karkas still has a Molotov as well. He can hold off one of the angles. It's a good kill to find as well.
This trade's coming back, but the T's are not happy about this. Left in the 2 versus 2. It's a 2-pronged attack. They come charging straight in. The Orc of Whisk. Such a nuisance maker of a weapon. And Mog getting another shot off as well with the AWP, as it will go 12-8.
Yeah, very well delivered, getting the trades when they needed them. Right, ultimately, you're going into that bomb site. It's very tough to get into the B site, right? Technically, if you don't have control of B apps, you've got 3 avenues to go through. If there's a Molotov on one of them, it's very hard to tunnel through. 12-8. This should still be a buy from looking for AUG, although it's a bit scrappy. You've got 2 MAC-10s in play, which typically, typically you want to associate that with a B play of some kind, or at least a fast play. But I'm interested to see what happens, because you've got an AWP still available, so you can still play a slow style at the very least.
A lot of nades as well. Tons of investment from LFaug into this one as they try and get in that early mid control, moving their way down. Emmy actually could be very annoying in close encounter if they opt to fight him.
That's so unlikely.
Yeah.
Seeing 2 different players at completely different vertical lines, right, on your screen. Basically impossible to land that shot, but Karkas, that's a really nice shot to pick off. From short to ticket, it's a tough one. Making it possible. It's still only a 4v3. JCMX very low, but he's got palace control, which could be the big thing here. I'm not sure if Whisk saw Karkas when he jumped across. Emmy, though, should know there's a player towards short. He definitely knows.
Yeah.
Did feel a bit worrying for a second.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little bit of an early shot. And there was one of those where he might try and slide out a window.
He's actually got all the way around, but the bomber is doing this. Was doing the same rotation as him, but instead he'll be saying, "I've cleared palace. I don't know about ramp, but I'm going to take the chance. I'll clear mid. We can then try and deal with it from there." But Capers is deep in CT. This could be a huge issue if he peeks at the right time when the rotates are coming across. Because as you can see, there's 2 players with no head armor right here. They are potentially the only ones who will rotate through CT.
Yeah, you could have a field day against them. They do outnumber their opponents now 2-1. They have nades, which is the tactical edge. Molotov and a smoke going down as well, restricting that line of sight, not allowing these players to get this one so easily. There you go.
Yeah, that's the no head arm coming through. Obviously, Hype getting that 1 kill, and he gets the second as well. JCMX, the player who was very low to start off with, ultimately paying the price by not clearing all the angles nearby. And this round is basically gone for them. Actually, it's a bit of hype.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought though. As soon as I saw Capers in deep CT, you've got two players with no head armor towards that B side. They rotate most likely through CT. And Casa, ultimately, I saw his X-ray going through past. He was jumping around with a grenade out, I believe, at the time.
Good. Good.
So caught off guard completely. And Reflex,
no
they're in
idea.
with a force, with only one primary weapon. So 2 CZs, Eagle 5-7. FAMAS on enemy is the big one. And it's gone.
In a matter of seconds, straight down mid. Mog with the Deagle, trying to peer through the smoke, looking to see if he can get an eye out and spy some players at mid, but his teammates are just dying all around him.
I think Whisk does know that Carcass was up there. It feels like he has an inkling, but Mog... Ooh. No more toes allowed for him. Carcass survived quite a long time there, all things considered. Casa does take him down, but ultimately you've got to be thinking it's just a matter of time here. He's taking damage from all kinds of angles. Right here. And a very unfortunate jump spray with the CZ. Results in no kill. A 10th round for looking for Org, so they're in a very good position right now. Reflex, they need to take a guaranteed eco here. Potentially a double if you want an AWP in play. Right, because you're going to have, what, 2,400? Well, 1,900 actually this round, technically. It's not looking particularly ideal for them. One flash sport from Whisk. And everybody's going towards B, but he's staying towards A, potentially trying to mask. Oh, he's flashing top mid for them to push short. Okay, so it's quite unusual. Normally, well, that's out the window then.
It's lucky there was no one towards top mid that was actually playing aggressive.
Instead, he might have actually flashed them as they came out A by mistake.
But yeah, potentially in some world.
In some weird, crazy reality. But Emmy's got his FAMAS back, so... And it's gone.
In a matter of seconds.
So we're very quickly getting this score tied up, nearly. 12-11. Looking for building a decent bank, something that Reflex were not able to do on their T side. The buy will come through from Reflex. How many Orgs are we going to see? It's all 5. All 5. That is the state of CS right now.
Yeah.
On the CT side, if you can afford an Org, Kevlar, maybe a grenade or 2, you consider yourself roughly a full buy.
Yeah, use the big...
Players down under 3.
Ooh.
I mean, it's worked out.
They've walked them.
All 3 players jump out window, and somehow they've come out ahead. Whisk still dealing a lot of damage. He's having a very good game so far. However, Carcass trying to lay down the smackdown, making it 2v2. Whisk being charged once more, but Mog is there to deal damage. That's a 4K for Whisk. He's got 27 kills right now.
Yeah. Whiskey's having a very, very effective game right now. Popping off from the server. That brings the tally up to 13-11 as well, putting Reflex in a huge position.
I mean, on the other side of things, you've got Carcass on 29, Hype on 25. Just like them alone combined for 54, right? And then the other 3 players combined for 35. Like, that's a kind of crazy thing. It's like simple and electronic on Na'Vi, isn't it? Ultimately. At times.
Yeah, it's quite reminiscent.
Although this most recent performance from Na'Vi, it was just him. And some flamey here and there. Awkward timing there for Whisk. He did have a HE available to him. Also, he didn't decide to use it. Mog's being very tempted to go aggressive here to try and catch some of these players off guard, but ultimately, you've got to be thinking it's not really worth the risk. Especially with this smoke dropping down to cover him off. Ooh. Carcass not expecting that. He saw one of the players rotate off, but why, you would never expect another to still be watching the same sort of angle.
Oh, I'm in. That's pretty brutal.
So if Sam gets the job in control, thanks to Emin taking the A site. But ultimately, I'm keeping an eye on Capers on the minimap because he's underpass as well. Going into window, I thought he was underpass, but instead he's in lad room. So that's big kills to find on that A site. Casa's still on B. Still holding the same angle. Bomb has been planted, however, so he will be making his way downtown. Hopefully walking fast.
Yeah, bomb's passed and he's homebound.
Instead, the save will come through from him. Well, hopefully he'll get the save, but Whisk will most likely not, based on this interaction right here with FSAB. Smoke will come through. Spam not that, yeah. Ooh, okay, so the sound cue obviously gives it away. Guarantee that. And Whisk actually comes out alive. For now. Cape is still there with an AWP. It's not really worth him chasing that, though, as he does have a 5,000 inventory technically right now. So somehow Whisk will actually come around, or come out with this round alive fully, unless Hype goes absolutely crazy charging this corner. It's gonna be a very close call though. Due to the, I believe it was ESEA have the less seconds after the round ends compared to the usual Valve one. I think it's 5 seconds compared to 7.
Yeah, a slight change there that you do notice will affect teams at times if they're not prepared for it. So, still the double AUG. You got the scout out on Emmy. 2 UMPs as well. Potentially might want to try and play a little bit aggressive with those. Obviously, you can hold a more aggressive stance angle anyway with the AUG, so you are getting a little bit more used to it.
This is do or die though, right now for Reflex. Because ultimately, you lose this round, your money's completely gone. And that's not a good start. That's not a very good start at all. Mog completely caught out. With his pants down, I think it's fair to say, right there. Whisk towards Ticket. JCMX is in ramp, but you've got to look at Emmy. He's been ready for this, and he takes him down. Whisk is having such a good game with this AUG, but his team needs to more than have a good game. He needs a superb game to help them get over the finish line here, potentially.
This is something absolutely outrageous, Ben. 13-12. 3 versus 4. And the B site is slowly being built upon. Emmy gets that kill towards ramp as well, and this is where things get incredibly awkward. However, Casa is bailing them out with this AUG. As he's landing all his shots, he's picking up these eliminations.
And they seem to be dedicating to this, even though they got the kill towards A. Emmy probably should have done better with that angle. There's still 35 seconds left. It's not like they have to dedicate 100% to this site. As you can see, the rotate's coming through towards A. Casa still alive with armor. Emmy, because he did buy that scout, he dedicated, I'm going to have no armor. So this could be an issue going later on into this round. So they're still towards B though. They have not quite taken the potential angle that this is not a B player anymore. The bomb going down obviously will guarantee that.
Yeah, it's taken them a while to actually sort of clock on and realise what could have occurred there.
That smoke use is very good. It's a good mirage, quite literally on mirage. To pretend that as if there's no player in CT. There is a kill on Casa, so if they're able to find the correct fight here, ooh, this could be good. Molotov pushes him out. It's a good kill's fine, but do they expect Emin to be there? That smoke being there makes it, you don't expect it at all.
They're going to re-smoke towards the bomb. Emin,
Okay.
he'd have to spam.
She's landed perfectly.
He gets the headshot off, but it doesn't matter. He's spamming through the smoke. It's too late. He just sat on the bomb the entire time. That's the way they get the 14th round, Ben.
The flash was, I would like to say obviously that was a more skilled thing, but he did just drop it on the floor. It was just a very unfortunate peek from Emin, ultimately. He gets that 1 kill, fully blinded, tries to drop off just to stay alive. They get the round. However, this is ultimately the big one now, because obviously the force spike came through, it was a bomb plant loss. More money in the bank available to them. The question is, will they be able to get more going on this? It's a 3-man A play from Reflex to start this round off. So the question is, what can they get done? Obviously, Casta's had a bit of a defensive approach on the B site in general, which means players like Hype, they do challenge it quite a bit. However, the T side have been winning pretty much every single firefight towards ramp this entire game. Both sides doing very well with it. So that Molotov won't actually reach, I think it's on the front side of CT. But Carcass, he's probably going to get the drop on one of these players. I don't think they know that Connector is completely free right now. Like, Emmy, he needs to reposition. He gets the kill, thankfully, and he gets away due to the, exit through the vent.
Okay. We're left back into the 4-on-4. Site push is
Ooh, that runaway.
slowly coming out, but that actually could mess with Mog a little bit. Hearing the footsteps as they've bombarded their way back through. However, they've still not cleared it. Spot him just as he creeps out. Further kills being added to the tally. No one is looking to die tonight on the side. They're looking for AUG, apart from Carcass. Everyone else pretty damn good from that confrontation, getting away practically unscathed.
F-Sun is hunting towards Casa though. Casa quite ready for it though, does get the kill. But you gotta be thinking you need to stay alive here. On the CT side, that money, it's always quite difficult to build a bank. You'll get 1,400 for this loss. You kind of, I feel like you have to force into it due to the fact you picked up 2 rifles. And it's not like you can pass much across either. Like, Emmy, he could drop the AK to someone else, get himself a scout perhaps. That's something he's been willing to do recently. At least in this game. If that was the Valve timer, he's definitely dead. I think it's fair to say. So let's see. This is where usually you'd see a pause come through from a team. We've not seen many of those.
Oh no.
Other than after the first round, of course.
Yeah.
So no pause comes through, UMP was dropped. So Whisk, the guy who's been playing phenomenally well, 30 kills on a Deagle. This is where a Reddit thread would come in saying, why does Simple have a Deagle and Zeus have an AK? Right? That's the classic, right?
Yeah.
That is the classic. Let's see how it gets done though. Cape is lurking behind this smoke, looking to find something. Emin has been very successful towards A on this T side. Full 2-on-2, but that's a good fight to win. JC. That's probably the first time he's won that fight on this T side as well.
A little bit of a switch up in terms of the way he's playing it.
What a time to actually win the fight as well. 14-13, huge timing.
They're actually in a position where you could try and close this game down rather than just being a consolation prize.
Very nice silent drop right there from Marcus. An interesting mechanic, of course. Doesn't really make much sense.
No, a little bit inconsistent for some people to understand.
Just start spamming crouch for no reason. Apparently that makes it sometimes silent. This two-man setup could be quite lethal, but the only issue I have is if Cass is not the one that gets the kill, you're still looking for Cass when you get in that site. Like whether it's damage or anything, he'll obviously pull one of the players across. So Cass deals that dink instant to his height. Not much awareness on the site, and he doesn't actually get anything on the player who was on site. Whisk, thankfully, is getting the kills that they need there. He's gonna need to do much more than this. The second kill's huge.
Well, this is all it comes down to. 1 versus 2. The T side with an AWP. Versus the AK and UMP. JCMX is so low. If it's just his Glock, it'd be easier for him to actually get that frag.
It's 10 seconds.
He realizes he's being pushed. Mog walking right up towards him. All he's got to do is spray it in with that UMP. There we go. That will be the killing blow. And match point secured as well.
Mog thankfully does get that gun. It was a bit worrying that it was just going straight through the fire and flames to try and find any weapon. Could have grabbed, the AWP that was on the floor originally, anything like that. But 15-13, it's still not a fantastic buy for either side really, but much, much worse on the T side. With Frog, you've got one smoke.
Yeah.
A Molotov, no flashes. And they just double smoked ramp. Some miscommunication coming through in the final rounds of the game, and Hype taking a lot of damage.
The nade damage is coming out. We've seen the HEs, we've seen the scorching. Towards Connector. Could be a little bit of a bloodlust as well. With Zanenko just waiting outside. Since the smoke dissipates, they chuck the molly in to drive Mog back. Actually gets away pretty healthy though, doesn't take that much damage at all.
Yeah, the reposition required though. Connector has been a weak point for their CT side so far. LFaug haven't really had to challenge it. They've mostly been able to walk up towards the top at the very least, and sometimes they walk all the way out and get incredible amount of information, which they're doing on two sides here. If Emmy's able to get a kill or more, he's done very, very well here. But instead Mog does all the work that's needed.
Oh, it looked like Mog was going on to get another one as well. And the close MP9 spam comes through. Emin is done and dusted. It's looking like they want to be able to close it out right here, right now.
F1's already left the server.
Rather than messing around. Yep, people already bailing out.
Wow.
Not waiting around at all, Ben. They were not happy. And that is going to be the victory for Reflex over looking for Org. A 16-13 scoreline there. On Mirage is our first map here.
Yeah, and that does guarantee that Reflex actually do have the first seed in that group. So, as I said, Reflex and Revelation, two teams that came from UK Open last season, bear in mind, will go to the LAN finals as the first seed from their groups.
Which is pretty crazy.
Kind of crazy. It's something I don't think I've ever seen that sort of situation come from the Prem in the previous times we've seen it. Ultimately, though, that does mean you're going to have a lot of pressure on yourself, basing it off your online performances, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Revelation, at least they did very well the first 4 games, and then they slowed down a bit. At the end of this one, at least the group was very, very close, right? So regardless of what happens with that, Fierce and CX game, the settings I've already done there. It's Reflex first, Fierce second, and obviously looking for Org third. Now we focus on the other group, really, don't we?
So you've already got that locked down.
Luckily,
Yeah.
so.
There you go. There's the way the cookie crumbles. But let's have a look back at the highlights through that series. Some juicy little moments, some interesting kills that did actually occur. For the most part, though, Ben, it's just interesting to see we do have that team now confirmed. And Two are probably the biggest underdogs that when we looked at it and we had our predictions from both groups, I don't think any of us would have suggested it would have been these two that have gone through to the Manchester finals at the BEC. More to come today though. We have another game coming up next after the break.